Hey everybody, happy Wednesday, September 1st. Wow, we're in September. Um, I'm getting my fall stuff out to decorate. Anybody else? Make sure you say hello. Let me make sure my comments are open. Hey Loopy, I'm getting my fall stuff out, my pumpkins and my leaves and stuff to lay around the house. So even though, I don't know, when is the beginning of fall? Hi Donna. It just feels like I'm ready for something new and something different. So I've been working on that. We're painting the interior of our home right now. So I haven't done too much because of the mess that's going to be, but we're probably, I don't know, a quarter of the way done. We're doing it ourselves. So I do the places we can reach, and Bruce does the high places. So anyway, it'll be nice when it's done. Today we're doing an autumn theme card, so it's perfect for the 1st of September. And I'm sorry, my allergies are going crazy this week. This is the card we're going to do. Let me turn this around. There's a little bit of shadow there. I'm still working on my lighting, but I think I've got it a little better. That is, we're using the Pretty Pumpkins bundle, and we made a card last week. I meant to grab this card. Let's put myself in the corner. Hey, everybody. Loopy says the 22nd of September is the first day of fall. That kind of makes sense. I apologize, y'all. My nose just decided to start running. So we made this card with this beautiful, I don't know, would you call it filigree? And I'm going to show you a way today to stamp that using different colors. This is with one ink pad. And then this one we're going to use our Stampin' Write markers. So let's get going on that. The Pretty Pumpkins, I probably have a little sheet that shows you all the different dies, but there is a bundle if you do the die cutting. If you do the die cutting, there is a die, and you save 10% when you purchase them together as a bundle. There's a bundle number, so when you're purchasing bundles, make sure you don't order them separately and assume you're going to get the bundle price. You think I would remember where all this is. I think it's back here in the fall. Here we go. It's on page 48. Make sure you use the bundle number. Don't order them separately and assume you're going to get the 10% off. You have to use the bundle number. So, and the bundle is $45.75. So during the month of September, if you add $5 to that, maybe a pack of dimensionals or some Stampin' Seal, you can get something from the Celebration brochure. Free product from the Celebration brochure. So remember that. A lot of people close out their orders at $47. They just bought a spool of ribbon or something for $3. They would have gotten a free thing. So I always like to remind you guys to pay attention to your totals when you're putting an online purchase. And if you ever need help with your order, I'm always available to help you, or I can place your order for you. Okay, here is the card we're going to make. I love that font, and I was going to show you how we're going to take this image and put different colors onto it. I'm using my Stamparatus just because it's going to make it easier, but it's not necessary to have a Stamparatus to do this. And then I've also taken our Stampin' Write markers, which are water-based inks, so we can use these on our stamps. So this Pretty Pumpkin stamp set is a cling. Stampin' Up! Calls it a cling set, which means it's red rubber. We carry cling stamps and photopolymer stamps. The photopolymer stamps are the clear stamps that you'll see in some sets, but the Pretty Pumpkins is a red rubber stamp. So I've also got on my Stamparatus plate this little vine that I added at the bottom of our card. But let's get going because this is going to take a minute, not too long. And I'm going to take my Stampin' Write markers and how I did it, but it's not necessary to do it this way, but I just did each color at a time because I had my Stamparatus. If you do not have a stamp placement tool, you would have to color everything all at once with your markers, which you can. But since I have the Stamparatus, I just went with, I'm going to use my Cajun Craze marker, and I colored the outline of the pumpkin, and then I'm going to color in these maple leaves with my marker. Let's see, we have maple and oak. Is that the only thing I did? Yep. And there's some little kind of grooves here in the pumpkin that I want to get. Now it's probably not necessary right now, but if this were to like get dry a little bit, you would want to huff it, which is kind of weird. But that's huffing it, and that moisture from your breath reactivates that ink on there. So if you weren't using a Stamparatus and you colored all of those in, you might want to huff it so you can get it reactivated. Okay, now I'm going to take my Bumblebee Stampin' Write marker, and I did all the oak leaves. Now I'm not being really precise as I'm coloring this in. I'm kind of coloring outside the lines. And it looks like I also colored in these little leaves. Or I'm blending over some colors. It's just a look. You could be real precise, but you can see here that I kind of colored outside the lines. Part of that's because I'm doing this sideways. But I think it's going to look fine because we're going to get that kind of antique-y look. Okay, then I took my, this is the Evergreen. What is it called? Evening Evergreen. It's one of our new colors. And I'm going to color in these leafy things. Is there something else? I think I went inside here. Now the beauty of the Stamparatus is I could go back if I didn't if I wanted to add more color or I didn't get the object colored in good enough, I could go back. Okay, now I'm going to take some crumb cake and I'm going to do the stem. And then these little doodads on the sides. It's going to be, I'm just kind of using this lighter color because these are kind of background images. Loopy says this set is her next purchase. I love the fall and autumn sets. And it looks like I forgot this leaf and this green piece. So I am going to take my soft succulent. This is another new color. And fill in those places I forgot. Okay. Now see how once we got it, it looked kind of a mess in the beginning when I colored outside the lines, but now, if it'll focus, now everything, we layered everything and it looks great. But that's how I took the solid image and made it with several different colors. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing down here with this little vine. And I think I took my Cajun Craze again and did these. They kind of look like maple leaves, but I don't know. But I'm going to color this big one in. And then I'm going to take my bumblebee and get this really big one. And then I'm going to take my, what is it? Soft succulent and do the little vine here. Okay. And there we go with that piece. We're going to die cut all these out in just a second. These aren't solid, they're just outlines. And I'm going to take my little stamp chamois here, or whatever it's called, and clean these off real quick. This is my favorite thing to use when I'm using my Stamparatus, because I can use it as a rag and it's real easy to get the surface of the plates clean too. So if you don't have one of these, they look ugly, but I throw them in with my rags and then I don't dry them in the dryer, and they work really great to clean your stamps, especially the clean stamps. Okay, I'm going to take this plate off and we're going to put this plate on, and we're going to do our inside sentiment. And I am using the Evening Evergreen. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Carol. So now we're all done with our stamping. And we can put all this away. There we go. All right. So let's go ahead and cut our die cuts out, and then we'll put our card together. Now, like I said, this Pretty Pumpkins comes with this really sweet set of dies. Lots of leaves and things. And I'm going to cut this is also, I call this a filigree pumpkin too. I don't know what it is. But I'm going to cut it out of the gold. I think I have some already over here. The brushed gold foil. Let's see how many I can cut out at one time. I don't think many on this one. This one fits on my desk the best. My work surface. Okay. Get in there, buddy. Let's turn this over. Maybe that's what's the prob. There we go. Okay. There's our little pumpkin. And I am going to cut the little vine out, and then we'll be ready. I usually like to run those real detailed dies through a couple times, but we'll hope it worked. Let's see. Need both my hands. Does anybody have plans for Labor Day weekend? We are having family over on Sunday. We have a couple September birthdays, so we're going to celebrate the September birthdays on Sunday. And we're going to do some more painting around the house. Okay, now this is a real detailed die, so I like to use my little foamy thing, whatever this is called, to kind of loosen everything up. This is why I like to run it through twice, and I might have to cut a new. Nope, here we go. These are so detailed. You got to be careful you don't rip them. Carol has no plans so far. Sometimes it's nice just to hang out, isn't it? We're having beautiful weather today here in Kansas City. My husband always likes to come up from his office at noon and eat out on the porch, and I went out to sit with him, and I thought, oh, it's going to be so hot, and it wasn't. It was beautiful. Y'all, I might just cut a new one. It might be faster. It might be a little faster. Here we go. This is why I like to run them through a couple times, but the die shifted, so that made it impossible for me to do that. We'll get it. Plus, I hate to waste our gold foil. Brushed gold. It's coming. You can also stick a little piece of wax paper between the die and your cardstock when you're doing these really detailed dies, and that helps, which I did not do. And you can also take a dryer sheet and do the same thing. And then your die cut smells really good. Well, I really haven't had trouble with this one, but like I said, I usually roll it through 2 or 3 times. But since I'm doing it in front of you, it wants me to chat. There we go. We are done. Ready to put our card together. Sorry about that, guys. That's why I like to kind of cut them out ahead of time. Alrighty then. So here's our card, and I did it a little different. I did it 4 1/4 by 11 and scored it at 5 1/2. Oh, my sister says I need a pumpkin spice dryer sheet for this one. That would be good. Did they make those? I imagine they make pumpkin spice everything else. All right, I'm going to put my insert in here. Don't you love that font? It's so pretty. Looks like hand lettering. And then I took a piece of the, here we go, let me show you the paper I used. It is a print from the Harvest Meadow 12 by 12 paper. Just a real subtle, this is my favorite, I don't know why. But they're just real subtle patterns that are great for backgrounds. So I cut this at 4 by 5 1/4. And paid attention to the direction of the font. I was trying to read what it says, but I think I need a magnifying glass. They love and will thrive. I don't know what it says, but it's something about loving and thriving. And never from heart can be torn. Sounds very, what do you call it? Jane Austen. Okay. Then I took one of our square vellums doilies. It's hard to see it because it's clear. And I attached our little, y'all, I forgot one step. I forgot our little ribbon. I thought this ribbon went really well with this color, even though it's not. This color is, this is the braided ribbon, and it's in Just Jade and Gold. Our marker that we used was, that I felt like it coordinated perfectly with, was the Soft Succulent. And I just put a little ribbon around, right across the middle. So we're going to pry this up a little. And I am going to do y'all have something that you use to pry things up with? You've got to. Let's see, I want that more towards the center. maybe right there. There we go. Okay, then we'll go over on the other side. This would have been easier to put down before I glued my first layer down, but we'll get it. We will get it. It's just peeking from the back. There we go. Isn't that cute? It's just peeking behind everything. Then I took my vellum and I wanted to pop this up a little bit. So it's a little hard with the vellum and the filigree pumpkin to do that. So I got out my silicone sheet and let me grab something. I use a little sponge for things like this. This is just my glue sponge. So I'm just gonna kind of dot some glue on the back of this pumpkin. And then you do have to put a little pressure down. But since she's on the silicone mat, it's not gonna stick to my surface. And I put the glue on the wrong side of the pumpkin. All right, so I'm gonna put this little cutie right next door. There we go, and then we can just rinse the silicone mat off in the sink and all that glue will come off. Then I took some dimensionals and I just put them on the behind the solid pumpkin because we don't want to see them. And it's going to be strong enough to hold everything down. This is a fancy card. I would call this a fancy card. So it requires a few extra steps. There, now we're going to put our little vine right here. So I'm going to put a dimensional right here. And then just a little liquid glue where this is going to touch our pumpkin. There we go. And that's the front of the card. And I did add a little double, my dog got a hold of my, my linen thread. Does anybody have animals that get into your craft space? If it wasn't on the floor, she wouldn't have been able to get it. This is way more than I need, but I took 2 strands of the linen thread and then just tied a bow. It just adds a little bit more texture. I don't want it to cover up all that pretty coloring we did. And you could use a mini glue dot. I like to use my liquid glue. It takes a little longer for it to dry, but I think it's worth it. There we go. So there is the card. That didn't take too long. Means it was such a fancy card. It took me the longest getting this filigree pumpkin out. Now, what I did on this one, because this thing was flapping kind of like this one is, I took an edge from some dimensionals. Need to find my little paper snips. Y'all, I've reorganized and now I don't know where anything is. This is bizarro. I had them all in one of these little things. Let me grab some off my desk. Okay, that's what I get for reorganizing. So I just cut the tiniest little piece, and that might even be too big. Cut it down just a little bit more. And then I stuck it behind this solid little area. Made sure it wasn't showing in front. And then peeled it off. And then that kind of helps tame that little part that wants to kind of fly up. We could have also added a little bit of glue and made sure it was glued to the top of the vellum square too. Whatever works. Remember I say smoke and mirrors? Hi Letha, thank you. Hi Vicki, yeah, this is a favorite. I love fall time and fall colors, but if you're late coming to the game, I showed everyone how to take the solid image from this stamp, whoop, and use your Stampin' Write markers to create a colorful insert instead of the solid insert. So I used Cajun Craze, Bumblebee, the Soft Succulent, Evening Evergreen, and Crumb Cake. So those are really nice fall colors. And that's how we did it. So thank you guys for stopping by. Thanks for watching. I will not be here Monday because it's a holiday. I'll probably be painting. So think of me. I will be laboring on Labor Day. So you all have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend, and we will see you a week from today on Wednesday. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.